Hello everyone, this is Maki. The movie beginning starring GQuuuuuX has been released in Japan. In this program, I won't talk about any story spoilers. I'll mainly talk about the content that was released by the official media before the release, as well as comments from the staff. I'll also share some of my own thoughts while avoiding spoilers. I'll also talk a bit about the merchandise that will be available at the theaters. Let me share my thoughts first. I really enjoyed this story. From the beginning, it surprised me with unexpected developments that made me eager to see the continuation of the story that will probably be depicted in the TV anime. The action scenes were mainly characterized by quick movements. While there were moments that showed mobile suits with heavy imposing actions, as seen in the promotional video, the main star GQuuuuuX performed very agile and dynamic moves. The action scenes reminded me of the DNA of the Evangelion series, one of Studio Color's signature works. However, for those who prefer the weighty and heavy action scenes like those in Hathaway, this aspect might divide opinions. In addition, there were fewer Mie moments as seen in the Seed series. Mie is a term that originated in the traditional Japanese performing art of kabuki and is commonly used in anime production. It refers to a technique in which actors strike a pose and freeze, emphasizing their expression or costume to captivate the audience. Talking about the story itself is a bit challenging. This is because delving into it could inadvertently lead to spoilers. However, I personally found Miran to be more charming than I had imagined, and I grew quite fond of the character. There was one thing that caught my attention, but rest assured it's not a spoiler. At the beginning of the story, one of the characters speaks a large amount of dialogue. These lines heavily explain the world of the story and the context of the battles. Some viewers may feel that having one character provide so much detailed exposition could slow down the pacing of the story. While I agree with this to a certain extent, I also think that it may have been a necessary step to attract a wider range of new fans. A new Gundam story has the important task of attracting new audiences. For example, Ms. Toke, who designed GQuuuuuX, has a track record of designing characters for the Pokemon game series. GQuuuuuX probably has a mission to appeal to children as well as adults. If that's the case, having the characters verbally express the background and context of the story could be an essential process. Overall, I found it very enjoyable. By the way, the day before the movie's release, Ms. Toke shared an illustration on her X account. It shows the protagonist, Amati Yuzuriha. There's also some news about Amati. In a previously released program, it was stated that Yuzuriha is the first name and Amati is the family name. However, in the movie, Amati's family appears. It's revealed there that Yuzuriha is actually the family name. The movie's booklet also confirms this, explicitly stating that Yuzuriha is the family name. It's a very small detail, but it seems there was a mistake in the previous official media program. In addition, Kenshi Yonizu, who performed the theme song Prismer, shared an illustration. Although Yonizu is primarily a singer, he is also known for frequently creating and using his own artwork in music videos. The illustration shows both Amati and Miran. The green text is probably an artistic interpretation of the word Prismer. If you look closely, you notice the Sunrise copyright notice in the bottom right corner. Perhaps this artwork will be used as the cover for the song's release. Finally, I would like to share my thoughts on the merchandise sold at the theater. I bought the deluxe edition of the booklet and an acrylic block. I plan to use the acrylic block as a paperweight from now on. Some people may be debating whether to buy the deluxe edition of the booklet. What makes the deluxe edition different is the inclusion of a book called Materials. Materials features numerous interviews with the staff, as well as shots of the mobile suits and mecha. It gives a glimpse into the emotions and dedication the staff put into creating GQuuuuuX. While there are many illustrations of the mobile suits and mecha, detailed settings and descriptions are not included. If you enjoy admiring the designs at length, you'll probably be satisfied. However, it may not meet the needs of those who want in-depth details about the settings. In addition, the interviews contain some surprisingly funny content. Of course, they avoid spoiling the story, so don't worry. Earlier, I shared a comment from Yamashita, who designed the mobile suits and mecha for GQuuuuuX. Yamashita mentioned that the director of GQuuuuuX is Mr. Maki, with Mr. Anno playing a supporting role as the scriptwriter. Mr. Anno, known as the director of the Evangelion series, often causes excitement among Gundam fans, many of whom express their anticipation for Gundam, created by Mr. Anno. Perhaps in response to this anticipation, Yamashita issued a statement emphasizing that the lead for the production of GQuuuuuX was Mr. Maki. However, Yamashita's statement is cut off in the middle. The sentence to ensure that Mr. Anno would not make any major changes to the overall story, we reported the final results to him at the last possible moment, ends abruptly in the middle. It wasn't clear whether this was a simple typo or some kind of joke. But it seems that this statement was indeed a joke. It has become clear that GQuuuuuX is heavily influenced by Mr. Anno's passion. Mr. Anno has a deep love for Gundam. At an event for the Annie Space Battleship Yamato, he once said the first episode of Gundam is the greatest masterpiece in the history of animation. Space Battleship Yamato is not a Sunrise production. Yet, at the Yamato event, he boldly praised the work of another company. Such a statement was only possible because of Mr. Anno's deep respect for both. That's how much Mr. Anno loves Gundam. GQuuuuuX is a realization of the dream of a boy that Mr. Anno had imagined. Mr. Maki and Mr. Yamashita may not have been able to contain Mr. Anno's passion, but the result is a delightful Annie. I learned this amusing backstory from the deluxe edition of the booklet. I hope that if possible, you can watch GQuuuuuX without spoilers. In today's world, where the internet is flooded with information, this can be quite a challenge. Not only fans, but even official media often share information under the assumption that it is impossible to avoid spoilers completely. When Seed Freedom was released, I was quite surprised to see that the official media had already leaked promotional footage of the main mobile suit from the second half of the story the day after the movie was released. Of course, stumbling upon spoilers doesn't completely ruin your enjoyment of the story. The experience of experiencing it with your own eyes remains invaluable. Please wait for the release with high hopes in your heart. When I talk about spoilers in my program, I always make sure to include a warning in the thumbnail and start the program with a clear spoiler alert before diving in. Thank you for watching to the end. See you in the next show. show.